Hey guys, it's Cameron again, and recently I did a video about the leather-bound books in my collection. If you did not get a chance to see that video, I will post the link down below so you can go check it out. Now I am going to talk about the signed books in my collection. I have about 40 signed books, so I am not going to talk about them all. I've only picked out the ones that are the most interesting. The first one I have here I was sent just a couple weeks ago for review, and that is Alistair's Auditorium by Gregory Funaro. I have already read this book and I absolutely adored it. It is now one of my favorite books. I will post my review down below if you want to go check that out. Not only is this book amazing in terms of the design and the story, but the fact that it is also signed just makes it even better. Next, I have The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. Now, I'm sure pretty much everybody in the booktube community owns a signed hardcover copy of this book because the entire first printing run was signed. But still, it's a bit hard to come by now, so I'm really happy to have this book. As you can see, I have a Blue Jay scribble, no Hanklerfish, unfortunately, but you know, it's okay, I still have a signed copy. Here I have Brian's Winter by Gary Paulsen. This is the sequel to Hatchet. Just a couple weeks ago, I was out and about. I went to a Goodwill store and I saw a hardcover copy of this book. I decided to pick it up and see if it was a first edition. Sure enough, it is, and it is also signed. As you can see there, it is made out to somebody named Philip. Why they brought their signed copy of this book and donated it to Goodwill, I will never know. But I'm glad they did, because now it is mine. Next up is The Supernaturalist by Ian Colfer. Again, I was out and about and stopped in a St. Francis thrift store just to look around. I saw a hardcover copy of this book and immediately picked it up because I wanted to see if it was a first edition. Again, it is, and it is also signed. Here I have Past Midnight by Mara Pernhagen. This is the first book in a trilogy. Before I even started booktubing, I went to this big young adult panel in which all of these authors were talking about their books and signing books for all the fans. Mara Pernhagen was on the panel, so I got to meet her, and she signed my copy, and she also gave me her email address so that way I could send her my query letter that I was writing for my own book. So she critiqued that for me, and it was really nice of her. She was an awesome lady, and I was very lucky to know her at the time. As you can see there, she signed my copy, and then on the back page, she also wrote her email address. Here is Dune by Carrie Corp and Lori Langdon. This is the first book in their Dune series. As you can see, this is an ARC copy. I was sent this for review before the book was even released, and I read it, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really fun summary read. I will post the link to my review down below, as well as the review for the sequel if you want to go check those out. Anyway, after I read the book, there was a signing that they were doing nearby, so I went to that and I got to meet them in person, and they signed my copy. As you can see here, meeting them was great. They're just such nice ladies. I'm really happy to know them. Here I have The Replacement by Brenna Jovanoff. I was at an Ollie's, which is this huge bargain outlet store that I love to go to, and they had this signed hardcover copy of The Replacement for just $2.99. Next is Nightmares by Jason Segel and Kirsten Miller. Yes, that is Jason Segel, the actor and comedian. I was really interested in reading this book, and I was at Target looking around and I saw a signed copy and I just had to go ahead and buy it. As you can see there, it's just kind of a scribble. I'm not sure if that's Jason Segel's signature or if that's Kirsten Miller's. I could be both. I really don't know. I can't tell for sure, but it's just a cool thing to have. When I was in 6th grade, Margaret Peterson Haddix, the author of the Shadow Children series, came to my school and did a big speech and a signing. So I got to have my first 3 books in the Shadow Children series signed by her. As you can see there, she put to Cameron, happy reading. The next one I won in a giveaway a few years ago, and that was Beauty Queens by Libba Bray. As you can see there, it's signed on the end papers. Now, when I was about 14 or 15, I was out and about with my dad, and I stopped in a Books A Million Books and Company store. Little did I know that upstairs in the children's section there was a signing going on for Aaron Hunter, who is the author of the Warriors series. Actually, it was just one of the authors of the Warriors series, because as you may or may not know, Aaron Hunter is made up of 4 different authors. Anyway, I had the first book in the series but hadn't read it, so I just went ahead and picked up the second book and jumped in line. The line had already gone down quite a bit. There were only about 3 or 4 people left in line, so I was lucky I didn't have to wait very long. And because I was the last one in line, I got to stay around and talk with her for a bit, and she was such a nice lady. I was really happy to have that time with her. As you can see, she put to Cameron, her name, the date, which was September 6th, 2008, and then she put a little kitty cat there, which is pretty cute. This next one was a huge find. I cannot believe I was able to get a hold of this. That is I Is for Innocent by Sue Grafton. I was at a Half Price Books. I found this and I flipped the first page to see if it was a first edition, and it was, so I went ahead and bought it for just $7.98. Then I got home and I realized, oh, it's signed, what do you know? So then I went on Sue Grafton's Facebook page and I saw that she had a list of the values of all of her books, if they were first editions, and then if they were signed first editions, depending on the condition. Not signed, this book was worth $120. If it is signed, then it's worth $210. I'm not sure how much it's worth now, but I'm sure it's worth more than that because it's been a few years since I checked. And then last, but definitely not least, is the first book in the Mostly Ghostly series by R.L. Stine. I was at a bookstore when I was very, very young and I ran across this copy. It is a book that I will always cherish. So those are just some of the signed copies in my collection. I really, really want to get more. I want to be able to go to more signings and have some of my books signed by those authors. I am picturing in my head an entire library of signed books. That's the dream. Also, floor-to-ceiling bookshelves and a sliding bookcase with a secret room behind it, and a spiral staircase and sliding ladders. Also, really nice wooden bookshelves with crown molding, and maybe a big regal fireplace with stained windows. Little seating areas scattered throughout. A window seat, obviously. I'll have to have a window seat. Anyway, that's all for this video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.